Atlanta's own superstar Young Thug had a very tough day in court on Thursday. Thug was denied bond following just a hours-long hearing in his Fulton County racketeering case. Thug has already pled not guilty, but the reason why his bond hearing was pushed back pretty much later than everybody else's, prosecutors want his attorney to be removed from the case with a conflict of interest being in play. We'll get to that in a second. A Superior Court judge ruled that Thug must stay in jail, siding with prosecutors who raised concerns about witness intimidation ahead of the trial. Thug had a bunch of people pop out for his hearing while watching from a small room at the Cobb County Detention Center for nearly 10 hours. Yeah, it got to the point where Thug asked the judge presiding over his trial, could he go to the bathroom? Judge Glanville actually got mad because people in the courtroom started laughing. And I'm just thinking to myself watching this like, bro, these judges already are arrogant. They already think you're privileged and entitled as a superstar artist. You're the one making millions. I'm like, Thug, bro, just pee on yourself. I'm not even lying. Like, I'm not being facetious. I'm like, bro, pee or poop, whatever on yourself. Do not ask that judge to go to the restroom because they're going to look at it as a sign of disrespect, and it could be part of the reason why you're denied a bond. Thug did ask to go to the restroom. I know that sounds crazy to some people. I just know how these judges work, bro. It clearly pissed the judge off that people were laughing. I'm sure it did him no favors in the ruling on his bond. Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, said Thug offered to be placed on house arrest at any one of his 4 Atlanta area homes before the trial. Steele also said that his client was also willing to wear an ankle monitor, undergo regular drug tests, surrender his cell phone and passport. All he would want, his attorney said, was an access to an in-home recording studio, obviously to make some bread while he awaits trial. This would have probably cost Thug, let's be real about it, at least $1 million a year. But it would get him out of Cobb County Jail, a place where he's currently spending 22 hours of his day in protective custody. Some of the people that spoke on Young Thug's behalf, I thought that stood out to me, was a youth football coach and Kevin Lyles. I want to get into Kevin Lyles more in a second. But first, this young youth football coach said Thug was a blessing. He pretty much, the team wouldn't be around if not for Young Thug in Southwest Atlanta. Thug oftentimes buys the kids jerseys and clothes while encouraging them to stay in school. But the most notable person to speak on Young Thug's behalf was Kevin Lyles, who's the person who runs the 300 Entertainment label that pretty much has had something to do with Young Thug's career the entire time that he's been in the limelight, with the parents labeled involved as well. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely concerned about how the people running hip-hop, like really calling the strings behind the scenes, would respond to Thug and Gunna's racketeering case, because let's call a spade. A lot of the music that's about to be used against Young Thug, presumably in this case, has been championed, promoted, and marketed by these labels who have made hundreds of millions of dollars off the backs of artists like Young Thug. So I gotta be real with y'all. I definitely wanted to see who would step up to the plate and support Young Thug, put their livelihood on the line, tell a judge I'd be willing to do whatever to see this brother get a bond. I want to read to you guys a little bit what Kevin Lyles, a longtime friend of Young Thug's, had to say about him as he took the stand during this bond hearing. Lyles said, "I've been in this music called hip-hop for 38 years, and for the life of me, I don't understand why I have to testify to good hip-hop has done around the world. I also started a company with Jeffrey called Young Stoner Life, and I remember what he said to me, we're just not starting a company, we're going to change some lives." Lyles said, "I'm willing to back him personally and professionally. Jeffrey is not just an artist, he's an influencer who was put here to change the people around him. He looks at me as a father figure. The whole thing that people are talking about, that's not the Jeffrey I know. The Jeffrey I know would give me the clothes off his back. The Jeffrey I know, I'd give him my kids and he'd give me his kids. I believe we should protect black art. I'm in court for lyrics. Only in rap does this happen." Pretty much what Lyles was trying to say, which I do agree with this portion of it, is, yo, if we're going to hold artists' music against them, how come producers of movies get to do all type of scary stuff and create with no repercussions. Like, you're not seeing anybody go to trial over a movie like Get Out, right? Or any of these scary movies that come out all year where people die. And then that something similar happens in the real world, right? Like, nobody's going to trial over episodes of Law and Order where people get killed. You know what I mean? I think Kevin makes some valid points there. When it all was said and done, though, prosecutors said bad people sometimes do good things. The leader, the top dog, the most dangerous man here is Jeffrey Williams, because he doesn't have to get his hands dirty. He has others to do his business. The judge clearly later agreed with prosecution and denied Thug bond. His trial begins January 9th of 2023, so he'll most likely have to sit it down until then. A smaller win, though, for Thug is that his lead attorney, as of right now, Mr. Steele, is allowed to continue to represent him. Prosecutors argued a conflict of interest, which Steele has represented other members of YSL in the past. And there's a conversation that I want to leave for another video. Some of the conflict was if one of the other YSL members agree to work with the state on his racketeering case, then how can they in good favor also represent Thug? Again, there are rumors and speculation that we'll save for another video that YSL has some gentlemen within the crew that are about ready to flip on Thug and others. Again, Thug denied bond, and his trial starts January 9th of 2023. He'll likely have to sit it down in Cobb County Jail